know. Yes. I mean, I don't know. That's what the voice said. I almost got to the nest, but the singing... I need to get back. Mole will be so mad. Wait, you should meet Mole. She'll be grateful you helped me. Find a boy called Donny. Tell him you want to see the dragon's lair.
Reminds me of myself when I was a nipper. Always getting into trouble. And worse. One time, my parents denied me a kitten, so I summoned myself a Tressim. Ugh, dear old Tara. Beautiful creature. Benefits of a wizard's education, you see. Of course, my considerable talent didn't hurt either. Well, that depends on who you ask, I suppose. I may have summoned things rather more exotic than a winged cat. There was that Magma Mephit once. Nice fellow, we kept in touch. Of course, in walked the housekeeper, screaming, yelling, panic, and before you know it, fire everywhere. Anyway, I'm glad we got that boy out of his predicament. Poor lad would have been harpy feed if it wasn't for you.
Indeed you could. We're all doing surprisingly well, given the circumstances. I'm not taking anything for granted, of course. First sign of change, and I'll have to stop that pretty little heart of yours. I am open to suggestions. Knives, poison, strangulation, whatever you'd prefer. I don't think poison is for me. Nor stabbing, come to think of it. I always felt decapitation was a fine choice. One good swing and then... nothing. But we were talking about you. What'll it be? A fine choice. Now, to use sword or axe. Or saw. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is all a worst-case scenario, obviously. If the last day has taught me anything, it's that the impossible is more likely than you think. Now, let's get some rest. The sooner we start tomorrow, the better our chances of keeping this hypothetical.
Ah, my good friend. You were at the gates just now, no? When the goblins came? You saw them up close? A few questions, if you please. There's no overstating my interest. Glory. Now then, how would you describe that particular batch of goblins? Size, nature, distinguishing qualities?
You search your mind, successfully recalling various details of goblin behavior.
My, a scholar after my own heart. Spent much time among goblins? Shocking little creatures, aren't they? Still, there's quite a bit more to them than most accounts allow. I myself plan to record the world's most extensive catalogue of their means and habits. A blue ocean of information, I dare say. Now, I've a few more questions, if you don't mind. And the dragon they had marching in the rear, was it of the brass or silver variety? Witnesses failed to notice the obvious dragon. Last question, then you'll be quite free. Did the attackers rally to the absolute when they fell upon the gates? They did, didn't they? Oh, curious. Oh, curious indeed. I've interrogated one, a captive in this very camp. She reports they've abandoned their god Maglabiat in favor of someone called the Absolute. The scandal! Ah, but is superstition all? These goblins are informed by a kind of strategy anathema to their kind. I, for one, intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm just preparing to head to their camp as we speak, in fact. If you'll excuse me, I ought not to door roll. Why, goblins, obviously. Well, someone ought to chronicle these curious events. I'd heard the master of this place, a druid called Halsin, might be able to point me in the right direction. But he's been quite captured by them already. Ironic, really.
Oh, never you mind. Who needs mercy when you've a quick tongue, And an invisibility potion stashed in your back pocket?
Until we meet again.
Ah, my